side, I'll go ahead and kick things off. Looks like we have a couple of people on all fronts live with me now, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jason Kirby. I am the founder and managing director of Thunder.vc. We are a tech enabled investment bank for founders by founders. What does that mean? Well, I've raised millions of dollars for both my companies and other companies. I've sold my companies to Walmart and others, and I've dealt with bankers in the past, and I just never felt that they could really understand what it's like to be in the founder's shoes. And having gone through that journey as a founder, and now kind of becoming a banker, we've decided there's a better way to run the banking process for founders, especially in early stage, that are million plus in revenue. And for those that are even earlier stage, like the pre-seed or even angel, we provide a ton of free resources at Thunder.vc, both through our newsletter, our podcast, events like this, where I do these live monthly deck reviews, as well as our blog and just coaching and content on my LinkedIn and whatnot. So I try to add as much value to founders at all stages. But as far as our company is concerned, we have a couple products that anyone can use that are self-service. So I'll plug those real quick before I dive into the meat of what today's event's all about. So first, we have our AI tool that recommends which VCs you should be talking to. So if you go to Thunder.vc, you click the join button at the top, I should say the apply button. You can give us all your company details, and in exchange, when we approve your profile, we actually tell you which VCs are statistically more likely to be interested in you. And this will help you narrow your focus on who you should be building relationships with, who you should be starting the process earlier with, because these are actual check writers that are deploying capital actively into whatever your business is at the stage that it's at right now. So it's a super valuable product. We have thousands of companies that have come in there and generated their list. As your company grows or changes or scales or you pivot or whatever, you come in, update your details, and then the results will change as well. It's completely free. We do have upgraded versions that enable you to kind of dive deeper and potentially download that list. I'll give a quick demo of it at the end. But that's one of our tools. We have another tool. So for companies that are already generating revenue, raising capital can be really tough right now, especially venture capital. And so we've partnered with hundreds of lenders with our partner to be able to provide working capital options, whether that's asset-based lending or revenue-based financing, term loans, SBA loans, lines of credit, whatever type of debt vehicle there is, we offer it. And we make it very simple in just a few clicks and filling out another profile to be able to recommend which lenders are actually going to write and underwrite an offer to you and what those terms might look like and how much capital you might be able to acquire from those lenders relatively quickly. And again, I'll try to do a demo of that at the very end. So that's a little bit about us. I will go ahead and jump into the roast. So for those that are never been to one of these shows, what I do is I basically put on my little VC hat and I look at these decks as if they were sent to me cold, and I've never seen them before, which is true. I've never seen these decks before. I have a couple of their title pages up, but I haven't read them or looked at them, anything like that. And the purpose of this is to give founders the feedback that's basically running through a VC's head when they're running through hundreds of decks a week. They're seeing deals all the time. They got deals they're working on. They're in this kind of like, got to find the best opportunities. And if I'm receiving a cold deck, or if I'm receiving a deck cold, it's really got to, kind of jump out of the page and get my attention and draw me in. So I have a rubric that you can learn more on the link on our Luma page. But basically, it's a 0 to 5. 5 means you're going to get money, or you're at least going to land a lot of meetings. And 0 means you probably shouldn't be raising capital, and everything in between. So ultimately, I'll review these decks. I'll think out loud. So typically, investors only spend 30 seconds to a minute on a deck to kind of decide if it's worth spending a little bit more time on and making a decision. I'll be extrapolating that 30 seconds with my thoughts being explained out loud for you to actually understand what goes through a VC's head while doing this. So that said, I will go ahead and jump right into the decks. Let's just share my screen real quick. Where'd you go? All right. All right, so we have our first deck up here. So first piece of feedback. Now, granted, you're sending this to me. Maybe you thought it was okay to send me the actual presentation. I do not want to see the actual presentation view. Just give me a PDF. Don't send it to me as the actual slides view. Makes it too busy. Help me just focus on slide by slide and see the deck. Otherwise, I'll just kind of like quickly maybe scroll here and be like, whatever, done. Like just make it very clear to make me go through the flow of your deck. Send it to me in a PDF. Send it to me in a DocSend. Don't send it to me in a slides view. So just special note for all founders out there, it's definitely the preferred way. Keep things simple. All right, so let's look this up. Debin, build better plans faster, increase media impact, maximize data investment, reduce media planning expenses. All right, so we're talking about media planning. Okay. I can kind of infer that a little bit, but just from a directing my eyes perspective, I'd probably put this line here, enterprise software for meeting planning, up here, just so I can frame my mind. This title slide is all about just framing my perspective. How am I looking at it? Are you like, give me like an idea of what problem you're solving or the industry that you're in. So as a VC, I can kind of frame my perspective of what I should be thinking about you. Because ultimately, as a VC, I'm reading through your deck super fast. I want to put you in a bucket. I want to put you in a bucket as fast as possible so I know what I should be judging you against. And ultimately, unfortunately, if you're setting this cold, I'm looking for no's. I'm looking for reasons to say no and stop spending my time on this deck and get out as fast as possible. So you need to make things as simple as possible to make sure they're framing the perspective of your deck very, very quickly. All right, moving on. Media and Planning 101. No, I haven't seen this before. I'll give it a shot. Let me keep reading. All right. Branch media content. Okay. I guess if I am not an ad tech, I'm not a connoisseur investor in kind of the media world or marketing world, I could see this as decent value add. If I and yeah, you kind of play it, say 101, you say what it is. So if I know what media planning is, I'm just going to skip this, and you put the most important point up here of how much money they're spending. So not a bad idea. I don't see it very often, but not a terrible idea. A challenge: media agencies, processes, haphazard and leave value on the table. Plans are growing complexity, expensive. Okay, multiple data points. I guess this is probably the most important thing because you're quantifying it. I see this often, just a lot of like, oh, there's so many things wrong with whatever the current status quo is today, but billions of dollars are currently working through it. So how bad could it be? So just be careful with like stacking all these different, like the more you can kind of actually quantify the pain, like, oh man, this is like super painful to, and this can sometimes be helpful to like put it in the perspective of the actual customer. Listing off just a couple, kind of bullets like it's complex, it's expensive, there's a lot of outputs, poor data quality, and client expectations are increasing. These I can easily just brush this over because that's like every job. That's like every company. So it's like, what's the actual unique pain that you're solving could be helpful. Oh, you're giving me customer. You're giving me who? Okay, at first, okay, so to be honest, I thought I was going into the team slide right here, but it now looks like you're just giving me quotes of, um, I guess maybe the brand. I know agency. I guess these are the agencies. Like, I'm not going to read these. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to kind of show what the pain is from real people. It's not a bad idea. It's defendable for your deck or whatever, but you didn't frame it. Again, like you see how you have a title here, like the challenge, and then you're just like, all right, I can now like infer, but again, I see a slide like this, I think team slide. So that again, that's how my brain works as a VC. I think I see a bunch of headshots, I'm looking at the team, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense, and then I have to rethink about what I'm actually looking at, and I have to actually process it, and then I don't want to read all these quotes. I'm just going to assume, okay, sure, it sucks. Okay, what are you doing about it? So that slide doesn't help you in the way that you think it does. The gap, the current ecosystem of solutions falls short and are not incentivized to solve the problem. So in-house tools, measurement, and currency vendors, media planning. Okay. Again, like establishing more of the market, not really telling me like how much pain there is yet. All right, let's see what this is. Configurable software in the agency. Okay, so probably want to see what you're. So you have just an algorithm, and you spit out better stuff. Um, Configurable software runs within. Man, I guess I would need to really see like an example of what the output is, because it's just basically like everything that sucks in the world goes into our little black box that I'm not telling you anything about, and magic happens. It's like, um, it's kind of the South Park reference of the underpants nose, where it's like underpants plus question mark equals profits. It's like it doesn't actually make me more comfortable. It doesn't blow my mind. It doesn't mean like, wow, you guys have figured it out. Um, okay, so you already have results in theoretical savings in media spend, increased reach, decreased spend. Okay, so um, I guess it's helpful. I guess want to know what kind of scale. Okay, so $18 million spent on a particular pilot. This one's not quantified. Growing pipeline pilots to be completed by December. Um, so it's not perfect. Like I still don't really know. Like at the end of the day, you're, I guess, an AI for media planning, but I don't really have full conviction on why I need to keep going or what makes you special or kind of what stage you guys are at. Seems like you're at pre-seed, seed, maybe doing pilots. You don't really have much revenue, so I'm getting a little bit more information. This is so you're expecting $500,000 deal size. Okay, so like, you know, I would probably make that a much bigger call out. So it's like, all right, you're doing enterprise. Yeah, you mentioned enterprise before, but this really emphasizes that. So you're going to be doing $500,000 deals with all the different agencies. It might be good to know. Let's see, 2,000 U.S. based, buying over 10 million. Degrees to our within 2 degrees to our collective network. That's, I don't know. I guess I see what you're trying to do there. Like we can attain these because they're within our net. We can get warm intros or something. I guess it's not terrible. It just makes, again, takes my brain away from what actually matters. It's just kind of skimming on whether or not I validate the opportunity or not. Just extra fluff that could potentially distract me. But basically, what you're saying, there's 14K media buying companies, 2K of which you think are most relevant and attainable for what you're doing. And if you're charging 500 grand, okay, so that's reasonable, not bad. 19 million over 15 years. Okay. Believable. I guess I would want to just see, like, how does a contract grow over time? How do you land and expand? But you don't have to get into those kind of details yet in your deck. All right, let's take a look at the team. Okay, so CEO's leading product. That's always great. Okay, so it has some extensive, experience at big brands. Also has a CS degree, which is great. And then, all right, so startup experience for head of sales, grew revenue. All right, team looks good. Okay. All right, team looks pretty solid. I wouldn't have any arguments there. I think this is all fine. But as if you've ever watched this show before, one of my big pet peeves is throw your LinkedIn here. Just like have like a little LinkedIn logo here or like a little LinkedIn logo there. Always make it easy for the investor to just like hop into your LinkedIn profile. Makes things so much faster, easier. All right. Invest as 500K to be a deployable solution. Okay, so all right, so it's not live yet. All right, so that little black box we went to doesn't appear to exist yet. You have some pilots, but there's no demonstration of what actually it does. So, this sounds like pre-seed. Still developing the product, still a lot to go. But being that there's a technical founder, is a good sign. So you're not just like outsourcing it to some dev agency, hopefully. All right. So my overview here is I think this deck's not bad. I think really the issue here is it's pre-seed, and the black box again going to this little section here gives me really not enough meat to really know what's actually happening. Um, and I'd maybe talk a little bit more about that black box. Some founders are very insecure about publishing too much of their secret sauce too early. To each their own, but I would say this one potentially could get meetings for any enterprise sales, investors that do pre-seed and are interested in particularly solving this problem. I would try to make the pain a little bit more visible. I just I'm not feeling the pain. I know planning in general sucks, and I know that sure some AI could probably potentially solve the problem, but I just don't really know what exactly you're doing by reading all this. And again, there's a lot of text. So, but I'm going to give you guys a 4. I don't give a lot of 4s. I think you can just work on really the problem and what the actual product is going to end up doing, and providing a little bit more make me really visualize it. And you guys could be off to a good situation. The team looked pretty good. Everything else looked reasonable. Not too bad. Short deck. So good execution. 4 out of 5. Well done, guys. All right, moving on. Excuse me for my congestion and winter impact. All right, so we're moving on to system. Incubation ecosystem for artists driven by vote to earn. I think I had these guys on before. Let's see what they've done since. All right, so we're starting with the team. So when I see team first, I'm assuming pre-seed or really early. All right, so I don't like the big paragraphs. It makes me actually have to read it. Bullets of accomplishments are usually a bit better, but I see you're a producer at big companies, so I imagine you're on the artist side, and you were a creator of Stop Abuse Project, which is some NFT project, and all right, so you're an NFT and you're a producer. So crypto Web3 is where I'm labeling this. More than 15 years on C-level positions, covering management, business development. I guess for these companies, I guess really more like the years of experience stuff just doesn't really appeal to me as an investor. It's more about like, what did you do? Like anyone could sit at a desk for 30 years and say they have 30 years of experience, but did they accomplish anything? So talk about accomplishments. Like what were the metrics? Like built, sold a company, like grew revenue. Like on the last deck they showed actually what they accomplished. Like grew sales to $1 billion. Like talk about accomplishments. That's more impressive than just saying I've sat in a desk for 10 years. Or so a fashion brand founder. Yeah, so that's kind of my feedback there. All right, so I guess these are the founders. I know 2 founders, and then you're adding a bunch of other team members. So you did great. You had the LinkedIn's at least, but I think here is a bad decision to bring the team up front here, just because I don't even know what you really have yet. And I like to usually think like, oh, let me wrap my head around the business. What are you guys trying to solve? And all right, this is either really easy problem to solve, really complex problem to solve, or very like niche problem to solve. Then I want to learn about the team to see if the team is a good fit. Here I can't really make any judgments about the team, so I'm just not really gonna make. Oh God, okay, yeah, this is. I'm looking at a bunch of names and logos, and it takes me to get 6 slides to get to your problem statement. I do not like this. I don't know what you're doing yet, and you're just trying to, front load names as if that makes you more credible. I don't know a single name here. No one sounds like it jumps off the page. A bunch of probably random Web3 people that may be awesome people in the Web3 space, but I don't know them. I never heard of any of these brands, so this doesn't mean anything to me. Problem statement: artist Web3 challenges, talented artists face barriers entering the digital world, requiring free guidance. Are they trying to get into this world? I don't know. All right, like what type of artist? Like, there's a lot of Web3 artists that have no problem doing Web3, and then there's, I guess, maybe non-Web3 artists that are having a problem. So I don't know how big of a problem that is. Low variety of art forms, lack of global issues, significance. Okay, not really following. Solution, incubator, collaborations, community, vote to earn, NFT marketplace. Not interested. Now, again, I'm biased because I'm not a huge fan of like Web3 must exist in all capacities and it's better than Web2. I think there are certain aspects of community in Web3 and whatnot that are interesting, and I do think NFTs have some particular value, but there's a lot of money that went into it and a lot of money that disappeared. So, unless they are explicit, unless you're targeting explicitly Web3 investors, there's not going to be a lot of interest. Um, Help art prosper and evolve into Web3. So, creating a vote to earn system to grow people into the space. Project overview. Um, I guess maybe for people that are diehard Web3 enthusiasts and investors, this could be compelling, but I'm not particularly interested in reading all the details. I don't see, like, we're into slide 11. I don't know who you're competing against. So competitive advantages. Who are you competing against? What makes you special? These pictures are sure they're cool. I'll give you like they're kind of branded and like look kind of fun, but I don't know if they add any value to this presentation outside of just being artistic. Um, Mentorship program, incubator. Okay, so sure. The market, current Web3, digital entertainment market cap. Okay, market cap. Let's unpack that for a little bit. So, market cap is not the market. Okay. Now, maybe they're thinking we're going to sell tokens, and if we sell tokens at a $10 million valuation and it's a $3 billion opportunity, whatever, then you're basically focusing on appreciation of an asset, which, as we've seen, Web3 goes up and down like this, or more like this and then this. It's Bitcoin that has a little bit more longevity. Market cap is not a market. That's not a revenue model. That's not like people are spending this much to receive this service. It's more of we're gambling on the hope of appreciation. So I don't like this definition of a market cap for market. I find it to be very misleading and dishonest and not, not a defendable business in my opinion. Also, what was the CAGR? Like CAGR in a 3 year, CAGR for 3 years from zero to whatever billion, like, is it going to continue to grow? Like you're saying here, it's like the CAGR is going to continue to grow, but we actually have no historical reference that's defendable for that. Those would just be kind of loose assumptions. That's basically, again, people that are diehard believers in Web3, could fall into that. We do not want to read this, I guess. For an artist, albeit you can make a table look fine or attractive, but I don't. This is just so much text. I don't even want to read it. Make it simpler, make it easier. Go to market. Just a bunch of bullets that don't show that you've proven to accomplish anything, or can accomplish something. So I'm strongly discounting that there's a real strategy here. There's no like channel references of like we're going to go into this channel and we're going to deploy this strategy to acquire this many users. It's just, we're going to do campaigns. To who and how many and how much is it going to cost. So 200 artists are gathered. I don't know what gathered means. That doesn't strike me as a very strong word. Launched it and currently has 1,500 active users. Define active. So you got to be careful with words. So words matter when it comes to listing traction. There's users, which I discount as a vanity metric. That could be, you got a bunch of people to click on and look at something, and they're your Google Analytics. It could be that you had 1,000 users sign up in one day from something that you did, and then none of them came back to the app. But you have 1,000 users, that doesn't count. So really, when it comes to like any kind of community app and things like that, the numbers that matter the most are MAU to DAO ratios, or sorry, DAO to MAU ratio. So that's daily active users divided by monthly active users. Okay. And what people also look at is how many users do you have as your vanity metric. So if you're like, oh, we have 10,000 users. All right, well, what's your MAU? What's your monthly active users? And you're like 500. It's like, okay, so 95% of the people don't give a shit about your product and left and never came back. So you're better off just saying you have 500 monthly active users than you are saying you have 10,000 users. So be very careful with the words that you use and how you use them. And to me as an investor, I have to see MAU and DAO. For anything community related or usage based or anything like that, I need to see MAU and I need to see DAO, and I want to see what your DAO to MAU, ratio is. It basically tells me how much do people really love this and are coming back for it. Yeah, so we're well out of Q2. Q3 we're out of, so Q4 you're expecting to launch. I guess this is what you've already accomplished. So did you raise a seed round, pre-seed round? Did you accomplish all these things? Like these aren't awesome accomplishments, and you don't really actually say what happened or anything like that. Like pre-seed round, like how much did you raise? Like show accomplishments for the historical stuff. Yeah. Don't want to read that. Don't want to read that. Okay, so token sale, is that what I'm buying as an investor? So pre-seed, $2.5 million, seed is $7.5 million. Is that how much you're expecting to raise in this market right now for Web3? For a very vague, loose idea, to me, again, as a non-Web3 person, it looks pretty shady. One for one YTAM. So yeah, it's typical crypto stuff. Not a particular fan. I'm not a Web3 investor. I don't care for Web3. So obviously I'm a little bit more pessimistic than maybe like a superstar Web3 guy would be. But my stance here is it's a 2 on this one. I just don't think there's anything concrete or actionable in here. There's not a single demonstration of the product or how far the product's along. I guess maybe that's the product, which doesn't look like it's rocket science. There's no demonstration that you built anything. There's no progress of traction. So I think this is not a very good opportunity, and it takes way too many slides to get to what I need to know. Yeah, I'm going to be at a 1 or a 2 on this one. All right, moving on. Let's see. Let me just double check. Group any comments? Okay. So moving on to Buzzer here. AI solution that automates any buzzer system and makes it smart. I guess like apartment buzzers? Yeah, there we go. Outdated buzzer systems do not have the end user in mind. Functionality, security risk. Yep, I'm familiar with this with my New York apartment. Back in the day, main guest entry into multi-unit vendor. Okay, no waste of time, safe for community. Yeah, okay. So how it works: visitor inputs buzz code. Buzzer challenges visitor. Visitor inputs 2FA code. Buzzer grants access. Get notified. A guest has been granted entry to your building using your buzz code. Buzzer. I guess I don't know what buzzer challenges visitor. I guess that means it just kind of sounds fine. I just get a different visual, but all right, I'm following. Limited users up to 15 units. User management system. Blah blah blah. So I guess basically because these intercom systems or buzzer systems are using telephone lines, that they would be able to retroactively connect them to just a regular phone number to send a notification that there is a ping from this address. I'm following. I think I get the technology. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Reasonable market size. There's 3 million buildings. I guess how many of them actually have this problem? It's a lot of buildings. There's more than 3 million. So I guess I don't know who the audience is pertaining, or if that's narrowed down to like there are 3 million buildings with old school buzzers that we could tap into. Building access to decision, expensive hardware planning. All right, so these are your competitors. Got it. Not my typical favorite format for competitive advantage, but automate building a true solution, fast no hardware, global access. Um, I guess I want to see how there's no hardware and like what the actual integration would be. Um, yeah, so your early stage, you got 100K, friends and family. I guess let's see what we got for traction. Retail product rollout, Buzzers consumer products up and running with users active today. How many? Tell me numbers. Property management partnerships, deploying, planning on scale. How many? How many do you have? Approval. Okay. Um, all right. So it looks like I don't know. I feel like I get it. It's a simple product. I just like, do I really care about this market? Like, this doesn't sound very big. I don't know what your sales process would be like and what the integration process would be like. So is this like a building owner can just or like a property manager could just sign up online and follow some steps and self-serve? So I got a lot of questions from this. And you don't give me any substantiated traction to make it noteworthy of my attention to be like, oh shit, these guys have already figured it out. Maybe it's worth learning more and what they could expand to and all this other stuff. Maybe this is just a starting point. You're not really giving me enough of a teaser to be like jump out of my seat. It's like okay, cool, maybe a small, nice little small business. You're not really showing me like what the real growth potential is and like how you guys are really going to go to market and like great, you already have users, tell me how many. If you have like two, then that doesn't really count. If it's you and the founder or the founders, it doesn't really work. So like this one, like it's one of these things like there's no shot I would ever take a meeting, just given that there's just no idea of like how big this would be and how much money they are making now, and not really a good traction slide. But I do appreciate the simplicity of following through on the deck. I thought that was pretty straightforward. So it's not a terrible deck. I give it a 3. I think this could spice up if you kind of really sold me on like we're gonna turn your $1 million into 100 million when we do XYZ, or you know make me feel that you have a really awesome go to market strategy. Because if you're having to like go building by building and sell and set these up for like $100 a month, like that's just not an effective model. You're not making enough money to really warrant it. Um, and so I just kind of want to see what's that real integration. You say it's easy, but I just don't really know how you actually get set up and if it's self service. If you have self service setup, I would say self service setup, not fast setup. And kind of what goes into that, and maybe kind of show me just how the technology works. Give me like a little tech play. So I think this deck's just a little premature. I think it's got some work to work on it, and it could be deliver better value. I'm putting a 3 for now, but I think it has the opportunity to go to a 4 or more. All right, moving on. It is nearly impossible to afford groceries these days, says everyone. Yeah, I would say groceries are expensive. I don't know about $7,000, maybe annually or something, but that's fair. And yeah, it's not a bad idea. Like start with a problem. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a good way to grab my attention. And you clearly framed me, so good execution on the slide. On the really not basically not wasting a slide. Really maximizing that in intro slide. And then you go straight into the solution. You guys snap, eat, earn, repeat. Share pictures of your fridge and earn cash and groceries every week. Not sure I'd love that solution, but we'll see. Okay. Not sure how it works. What's more efficient? We refer to do this. Why brands, retailers love us. We know what you need when you need it and when you're going to buy it. We sell insights, not data. Not no wasted time or money. Finally, we know what works. Great. So basically, you're using AI to analyze the richest form of shopper data insights there is. So basically, knowing exactly what they have and what they're short of at whatever period of time. I guess that's one data insight, but I guess I have questions about others. But Make assumptions yesterday, today, tomorrow. So basically, every day you just kind of post what you have, and then I guess you're going to get tailored offers based on whatever you're mentioning. Renovators, not inventors, for enhancing, improving problem. I don't know these brands, but I imagine, yeah, sure, $1 billion valuations at some point, maybe. 100 million, okay. Ah, got it. Okay, so these are snapping pictures of receipts, and okay, got it. So some precedent set. So okay, smart idea. You could, it's like I was very skeptical coming in, but you did a good job of just kind of saying like people do this. This is real. Like we can make it work. Good crush innovation, level of granular understanding. Um, Artificial intelligence at its best. Smart shopping list. Okay, like that. I guess maybe you could also do your pantry, but also it's just there's people have some messy ass fridges, so I just don't know how you're gonna really navigate that. Um, we know how to make money. 50 cents for redeem. Don't worry about consumers double dipping for fraud. Okay. And then I guess you're gonna have a credit card too for groceries. Um, oh, you're gonna do distribution. Um, that has me concerned. I don't know if you want to get into the Instacart game after they just announced a $2 billion loss. Um, CAC. Wait, your CAC is. I'm confused. So you have a $44 CAC and a $600 LTV. Hi. I guess this is what you like. This is on the low side. This is on the high side. That's what you're saying. So even if it's on the high side, it's still great. I guess I um, don't really follow how that this. I've never seen something like this, like a high low case in this kind of format. Maybe just and this doesn't say scalable because it doesn't really show how you're getting customers and what you're calculating LTV on. Including that they've used at least one coupon in months for $1 billion coupon savings. So yeah, basically a coupon app, different style of coupon app, help people find us. You have 400,000 email addresses that I don't know what you intend to do with those or how you got those. That's so Instagram, UCC member, okay. Experienced team, sold Canada's first digital grocery coupon. All right, so the team's got coupon experience. But what? Where's the team? You don't give me the actual team. This is like an anonymous deck. Why'd you do that? All right, that's a game. That's game over for me. I need to see who I'm investing in and who I'm meeting with. Show me the team. You can like, all right, cool. You got the good stats, but like, show me who actually is here. I don't know if they were trying to be anonymous for the purpose of this, presentation, but that's a huge red flag. I don't know. It's one of these things where it's like, if I have an interest in this particular market, I'd probably take a meeting to explore how they're doing and what they're doing and how far along the technology is. Um, but this slide has me really concerned about distribution and credit cards. I would say more so distribution. This just like throws a giant red flag into everything. Um, and I guess, yeah, I just want to make like this maybe doesn't sound like it's what you guys are gonna do. You're maybe just partnering or something like that. I hope so, but that just throws a red flag up for me. I give this a 3. I think it has a little bit. It could be a 4, but the fact that there's no team and it's um, yeah, really just no team and just like the go to market's a little vague. I'm a little, like saying you have 400K email addresses. Like, how'd you get those? Just a little bit more context. I appreciate the simplicity, the kind of the simple slides that just kind of get to the point. It was easy to flow, easy to follow. So, maybe get you get that team slide in there and you give me just a little bit more explanation of like how you're doing it, or examples of like how it's actually working in the fridge, what the accuracy is. Like, I think an accuracy score, anything AI field needs an accuracy score at these points. When a human does it manually versus your AI automatically doing it, what's the disparity between the two? Is it 10% or 90%? Like, there's big differences there. But yeah, 3 with a high potential for 4. again, for any investor that's in this space. All right, moving on to our last deck. Oh, is that the last one? Let me just double check here. I think we had this one on before, so I'm not sure if they wanted me to go through it. Since they did it through the comments, it didn't check the box for approval. I'm not going to go through it. So that said, for the last couple of minutes here, I am just going to kind of show all of you on, if everyone's submitted the deck, thank you so much. We actually had decent decks. It wasn't usually it's between, I get lots of ones, but, I had some threes and fours here. So appreciate the founders for putting up their work and showing off what they got. I know it's not easy to get, feedback live in front of a live audience that, can see a lot of people, but appreciate everyone contributing. For the last couple of minutes here, I'd love to show you basically now that you have an idea of what your deck is going to be, what needs to be in your deck, and how to optimize your deck. Next thing is, who do you put your deck in front of? So that's where I'm going to show you guys how to leverage the power of Thunder. So in Thunder, pull up my account. We have this ability to basically pull up your tailored investor list. So this is what you get once you get inside Thunder. You've created a company profile similar to this. You create all your details, your data. Most of all, this is submitted when you create your account. You tell us about your team, your historical funding rounds, your current funding round. The more you put, the better your scores. Put in your traction, so what's your revenue, so you can select which KPI is most relevant for you guys, and then we'll need your trailing 12-month revenue. If you have zero, put zero. If you don't have KPIs yet, you're too early, you can skip this section. It tells your burn rate, and this is all calculated on a monthly basis. You can come back month over month and update these things as you go, and it updates our algorithm and how much runway you have. Once you're in there, you'll just need your data room, which all you have to do for the data room is just your pitch deck. And then we spit out these wonderful little stats to kind of tell you where you are in terms of the ballpark of other companies in the network. So we have 55,000 companies that we've scored and compiled in the network. This is how you rank against them. So basically in here, you'll see kind of how you fall in a sample set of companies similar in your range on where you perform. So basically this is like, typical bell curve. You want to be on the outlier on the, on the higher number, the better. And those with the higher numbers, much harder to get to, but better for your business, and shows that you have probably more traction in your particular niche, in your particular stage than your peers, which is pretty powerful to kind of know. If you're in the negative side, it means you're probably maybe too early for venture capital. I would say most companies that fall under zero are probably not ready. Maybe they need to work on something. They need to advance product or traction or something of that sort. So you definitely want to be on the positive side when it comes to pursuing venture. And then down here, you just kind of see where you fall in terms of number of matches. And so you have matches on the left and company score on the right. So typically the higher the more you're on the outlier over here, the more likely you have matches. But also depends on what sectors you're in and so on. So what you get when you have these matches, so this is free to every single user that comes in. You'll be able to see this list. Now, if you are, and you can also open up the profiles and you can learn more about these VC funds. So basically, the purpose of this tool is to narrow all of your research into one platform on which funds you should be talking to. You have their LinkedIns and so on. It makes it very easy, and we tell you kind of how you scored against them. So these are the areas into which we prioritize the score. And the score is 0 out of 100. The higher the score, the more relevant or more likely they are to take a meeting with you, is the point. Anything over 60 is really strong signal. Anything under 60, becomes a little bit more hit and miss on whether or not they would be interested in you. So that said, if you want to upgrade, you have some additional features where you basically get to do certain filters. So maybe you're looking for a lead and you want to prioritize that. You can look for lead investors. This is a paid filter. So that means they've led rounds or have led rounds or will lead rounds. You can look for people in certain countries. You can look for them for certain states. Like I want to look for, New York investors only that do seed investor, seed investment. And these are the highest matches for me that fit this criteria to really kind of narrow your focus. Now, in most cases, I show a lot of matches because it's my demo count, but most people are anywhere between 20 to 200 matches is the average. You also can use our functionality here to kind of track your progress with these investors. And if you're paid, you can also download this as a CSV, which is pretty powerful, enabling you to get all the contact information, emails, names, LinkedIn's, all that kind of stuff, and be able to access those without any problem. All in one list. You can import them into your own CRMs or whatever you want. Or you can kind of keep track of your progress here and jot some notes, a little mini light CRM. And when you open up the profiles, you can also get access to the more team information, their LinkedIn's. You can see their historical investments. You can see who the founders are of those other investments. You can even open them up in a new tab, and you can see who the team is, and be able to dig deeper into the teams to see if you have any connections to these people, to then get you an intro to the VC. So it's a pretty powerful tool to help you identify who you should be connecting to, and how you could potentially connect to them. So this is the premium version. It's $497 for lifetime access, or it's 177 a quarter for a quarterly access. So I recommend the lifetime because it also comes with a coaching session with me, but you can just do the quarterly, whichever is best for you. So that said, we also have our debt funding tool. I think this thing will work. Let me pull it up over here real quick. Okay, cool. So you can go to debt.thunder.vc. You can apply for financing. So this is if you want to find any kind of access to debt resources. So what you'll do is you'll come to this page. You'll create an account. I'll log in real quick here. And then you'll end up on this page, to which you'll want to make sure you fill out your business profile, provide your basic information on your business, what's your revenue, what's some of your high-level details, some of the corporate information and documents and identification documents. And then you will be able to come to your applications tab. Oops. Go back here and one more back. And you'll be able to tell us how much capital you're looking for, what type of capital, if you have preference in terms of what you're going to use it for, how you're going to use it, whatnot, when you need it. And then based on that information, you'll get recommended lenders that will tell you more about what the rates are for this type of funding and how much is available, where you might fall, and it really narrows like these are the ones to focus on. Now, but here's the kicker and why we did this. As a typical broker in the debt space, they will charge both sides. They'll charge a couple points on the lender and a couple points to the lendee, the borrower. I hate that model. I feel it's egregious, especially in debt, because that really stacks on the payments and it takes away the actual cash you're working with. So what we've done is these are all pre-negotiated rates with every single lender here, meaning we don't take points on either side. Basically, every lender has a cost to acquire a customer, and that's what they're paying us. So it's basically just their cost of doing business. They're not paying premiums and then passing on those points to you. And then you have no points out of pocket. So this is a relatively innovative model, more focused on servicing companies at scale and giving them the absolute best possible rates. So basically the experience here, you would go in, you would learn more about a particular lender. You could book a call to kind of apply for a specific lender if you already have questions of any kind, or someone on our team will reach out to you and learn more about your particular situation, collect a little bit more data, and then make sure they connect you to only the most relevant lenders. And this way you have one point of contact for all lenders. You don't have like 30 lenders hitting you up trying to chase you down. So it's a really simplified, founder-first way to acquire the right type of working capital. So I'll stop plugging Thunder now. I hope you guys did not leave, and appreciate everyone joining us today. For those that have questions or want to submit their deck for next month, be sure to check out our Luma page or the event tab on our website to register and submit your deck. You can also do it in our Slack community, or you can just email me. But appreciate everyone joining us today. And like I said, if you ever have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.